Well, on Lilac Sunday, nothing like that on Lilac Saturday, nothing like that on Lilac Monday. So what we'll do is we'll just try and find pockets, and we'll just gather just come right in close, and then I can talk. Kids, do you want to come in the front here? So the Arboretum was set up in 1872 with money from a Mr. Arnold, who gave it to Harvard University to grow trees either native or exotic that would grow in the plein air of West Roxbury. And they appointed a director, a young man of 31. I think of him quite like Joe Kennedy, the same sort of age as Joe Kennedy. He was appointed director, Charles Sargent, and then immediately went off to his wedding, went to his honeymoon, traveled around Europe looking at gardens, and came back to set up the Arboretum. Unlike Joe Kennedy, his scholastic record wasn't great. He went to Harvard, he graduated 88th out of a class of 90. So not the best student, but a great director. He was here for 54 years. We're only on our 8th director now, since 1872. And so his problem was money, as it always is. And he enlisted the help of Frederick Law Olmsted, who designed Central Park. Olmsted was down in New York, and he wrote to Olmsted and asked for him to come and help him design the landscape. And he said, I think you're throwing in your services, which he did. But they still needed money, so they decided to sell the land to the city of Boston. And Boston as a public park. And Boston at first said no, and it took about 10 years. Sargent came from a wealthy, influential family, and he appealed to 1,300 taxpayers and said would they lobby to have this become a public park. And once it was a Boston park, then they could raise bonds and get money. And so kids, if you could tell me how much this Arboretum was sold for to the nearest dollar, I'll give you that amount of money. Could you make a guess how much money it was sold for? Good. Anybody a guess? $1.